my name is Nathaniel, and I'm with Mellowscape, and this is
Lorelai Paige.
Lorelai Paige, and we also have off camera.
I'm Deena. I'll be asking some questions here today.
Yeah, so this is very exciting. We're here to talk about our new song, Beat Up Chevy, that we recorded with Lorelai. It's very exciting. Lorelai, first impressions?
First impressions of like the song or like working with you guys?
Both.
Well, honestly, pretty great experience. Hearing the song though, it was like, I don't know, it just reminded me of like that indie alternative kind of like in your garage, like making a song kind of feel. And then it kind of reminded me of like the Wallows and like, yeah, but I like it. And then you guys are like really fun. And I met you guys at like the Forge, I believe, at a show before.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true. So
yeah, so I thought you guys were pretty cool then too.
Yeah, so right now we're recording this in October. It won't be put out till later, but I guess we met almost exactly a year ago because that was a Halloween show.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. You guys were skeletons.
Oh my God, yeah.
Insert picture here.
I hated those costumes. Cool. Deena, do you want to hit us up with some questions?
Yeah, so we'll start with a little bit of a getting to know you, Lorelai. So tell us about yourself and your journey in like the Pittsburgh music scene and sort of how you got here today.
Well, I live like an hour away from the city, so it's not really like I'm in the city, but I am in the city all the time. Like I feel like every week I've been driving out into the city, like playing, usually like at the Forge, or I used to play at the Bridge, but then they closed down. Ruckus Cafe, that's kind of one of the places I started at. So like places like that, like smaller venues. I guess through the scene, like I met you guys through Tone. So yeah, and then that ended up bringing me here, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how it goes with everybody is you meet one person and then that's a domino effect. You end up meeting everyone else. Because it's kind of it's like a weird small town feel in Pittsburgh where you end up meeting everybody. Yeah,
and everybody, like, you'll meet somebody in the room who knows somebody that you know. I feel like I've always run into people who also know other people that I work with. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So how'd you sort of get started in recording your own music? And can you tell us about what you're putting out, what your style is? Describe yourself.
Yeah. So I started, I guess, recording when I was like 18. I'm 21 now, to give you like the time difference. But I was working with someone named Sean Rue at Apple I Studio. And then I ended up like meeting Daniel Blake and like recording with him. And I still record with him now. Sean Rue, he is out of state now with like different work. So me and Daniel Blake, we've been making like a bunch of different like sounds, making a lot of different music and different genres. And now I'm making music that's more like, I guess, pop, like more modern, I'd say. But yeah, that's kind of how I started recording. And the process, it's very easy. Like I write lyrics all the time. So writing lyrics isn't hard for me. It's more like getting the studio time and like making time out of the month to actually go and record everything.
Yeah, I wish I had all the time in the world to be in the studio. So you mentioned the process. So what is exactly like from a song start to finish, how do you go about doing that?
Well, I'd say like most of them are, I'll write the lyrics first, and then I'll show up at the studio with Dan, and I'll be like, here's like a melody in my head, and I'll like either hum it or like pound on the table to make like the beat or something, kind of give him an idea of what I want, and then we'll lay down like a beat, like something that we call like a scratch track kind of thing. And then I'll sing over it, and then we'll work from there, like from what I'm singing with. And we'll add, lately I've been making more pop stuff, so we'll like layer on synths and then, work on the beat, whether it's real drums or if we're using some kind of like, the last song I made, I actually like slapped my leg and just put a kick compressor on it and made it a really cool sound. So yeah. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And so lately I've been getting a little more creative with it. But how I used to write, like my last album that I just put out this year, it's all like folk acoustic kind of music. So I played the instrument, kind of sang it, and just kind of recorded it and then mixed it, added a few things.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I really like the album that you put out, but it, like you said, it's all folk. And I was wondering if that was like intentional? Like you were like, I'm going to write a folk album and that's all this is going to be.
Yeah. I like my first album. It was a bunch of different genres just kind of mashed into one. And then I wanted to just kind of like focus in on one and see what I could do with just one genre at a time. So I did folk. My next one's pop. After that, I don't know. I'm just taking it one genre at a time.
Yeah, just run the gambit of every genre possible.
Yeah.
Nice.
So kind of going into Beat Up Chevy, tell us about the process for recording your parts for it and then recording the actual music video.
It was pretty easy, I'd say. Like when you first sent me the song, like I loved the song, like 100% from the start. And so I ended up learning the lyrics really easily and just kept singing it. And then when I showed up, I wanted to make sure I was like ready. So it was pretty natural, just like singing it, I guess, at Mr. Small's.
Yeah, so we recorded that at Mr. Small's studio. And for all of our songs, we make a demo first at home. And then when we go to the studio, we re-record everything to have it be like studio quality. And when I sent you that demo, it had, I guess, my singing on it. And I was so worried you were going to be like, this sounds so bad.
No, actually, I wanted to keep your singing on it, actually. Like, I liked how you sang it.
Okay.
Yeah. And the chorus, it's awesome. Like, with everybody in, like, it just sounds so full and like.
I know. I love when that chorus hits. And I when I wrote it, I was like, there can only be one.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to hit a second time. There's got to be only one chorus right in the middle. Yeah.
When you were all recording the song, did any specific parts resonate with you more than others? Or do you have any favorite parts of the song?
The chorus, for sure. Like, when you first sent it to me, I immediately related it to a situation with somebody in my family, actually. Like, the lyric that sticks with me is, "You're sorry, but I don't really see it." And, like I definitely have, like, a situation where I can 100% put that to, you know? And the whole song just kind of, like, hit me in a way where it, like, tapped into an emotion that I, like, haven't felt in years, really. And then it, like, it was, like, soothing. It was, like, resurfacing, but in, like, a smooth way. It was, like, reflecting almost.
Yeah, there's a weird comfort to the song. Yeah. So I guess I can talk about like how what it's about and how I wrote the song. The song is about someone in my life who I was friends with a long time ago, and then we kind of had a falling out, and it's kind of about the memory of that person and that friendship, but not necessarily like the person themselves. And so a lot of the song is like just kind of reconciling with these feelings that about how things fallen out, and you know how I feel about it now, even though I'm perfectly fine with them not being in my life anymore. Yeah,
I got that kind of feeling too, because it's not like a song of like a I want you back kind of thing in my life. It's more of a I've accepted it, you're gone, like I don't need you in my life. It's kind of like a I'm better off without that, but it's like a peaceful like.
Yeah, and it's like just kind of acknowledging that it's there, because like the first line of the song is "There's a cryptid in my front yard," and that's kind of representing the memory, I guess, of them, is that they're just kind of there and they just hang out, but that's it, like, you know, just kind of a spooky thing. Yeah, I like the feel of that, like, and it definitely captures your attention, like, for sure. Yeah. What's next, Deena?
So kind of taking a pivot here, talking about your experience working with the Mellow Boys. What was your first impression of Nathaniel, Robbie, and Chaz individually and then as a group?
Individually, you all have a certain uniqueness to you. Like, yeah, you guys are all kind of like the same like vibe, but each of you has something different about you. Like it feels like you do a lot of like the writing. I feel like Robbie's like really goofy. Like, you know, like I feel like you guys have like something about each other, and it all complements. Like that's why like I feel like your song is very like, I don't know, you can feel each one of you in it. It feels like talking to each one of you individually, but then as a group, you all kind of come together. I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah. And I'll go on record and say Robbie does most of the writing. Really? Yeah. So I think it's like Robbie does probably 70% of the writing. Oh, wow. And then I do like 25, and then Chaz has written a couple, so he gets that 5% thrown in there. He's a vibe though. He's just very chill and mellow. Yeah. He's the mellow to your scape. Yeah. But so when any of us write a song, we'll bring it
to the table as just like the skeleton of a song. And then that's where we all like throw our own unique like viewpoints in about how it should be developed from there. So yeah, Beat Up Chevy was one of those where I that was one that I wrote that I brought to them and I said, this is the vibe I'm going for. What do you guys think? And they contributed their own pieces to it. So
yeah. So then what was the collaboration experience like from both of your ends? Nathaniel, how did you all know you wanted to collaborate with Lorelai, and then how was that received by you?
Yeah, so I'm speaking of writing the song. This had a pretty quick turnaround. We usually let our songs marinate for like years before we record them. But this one, we wrote it in February of 2024. And I was going to sing it. And then I was like not super confident about singing it. And we had talked about doing a collaboration for a while. And so I kind of just went through every band and artist that we knew in the Pittsburgh area to find someone that I thought would be good for the song. And then I kind of stumbled upon you again, and I was like, oh yeah, we played this show with her. Like her vocals would sound amazing because it was going for that sort of spooky vibe. And I was like, you could absolutely nail that. And so
I'm honored that you picked me out of everyone you know. No, when you guys like sent me that, immediately I was excited because like I loved your set, and I remember that Halloween show, like I was vibing the whole time. And you guys have like a sound that like I actively listen to, so it was like perfect. And I've never sang or written in that style yet, so I was like, oh yeah, I gotta jump on this. And
Thank you. Yeah, maybe this is turning a new leaf for you.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe my next album, I'll be like, hey guys.
There you go. I'll jump on anything.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
That's kind of how I feel. Like, mostly anytime anybody wants to collab with me, I'm down. But I especially wanted to do this song because, like, this one, it, like, I don't know, it's one of my favorite ones that I've even heard myself on lately.
And I will say this about collaborations, too, is that you kind of just have to ask people, because we've always wanted to do one, and we know plenty of artists that we would like to do one with. But I think there's kind of that awkward, like, do I ask them first? Or like, do they, what are they going to say, yes or no? And then in our case, I guess it was just proven, like, just ask.
Yeah.
And then there you go.
Yeah.
So on that note, if you could collaborate with A, any Pittsburgh artist, and B, any artist in the world, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Mac Miller. He is both, Pittsburgh artist and famous artist. But he's dead, sadly. He hit a lot of different emotions of mine through, like, not just like his rap, but like his soft stuff. Like his last two albums that were put out, I know, like, he was deceased by the time, they got to my ears. I know that. But it, like, I don't know. I loved how he was just, like, very poetic, like swimming in circles, It was kind of like, I liked how he was always like that with his music. And he, like, his rap, like, when he started as, like, a kid, basically, still in high school, he was handing out his music with mixtapes in a shoebox. And that was just, like, very inspiring to me, Like, I don't know, to know somebody from the city that I'm kind of from, to be able to do it.
There's this kind of like spiritual connection that I feel to him specifically, especially being in Pittsburgh. And for a while I lived in Squirrel Hill too. So it was like down the street from the high school that his music videos were shot at. So that's really cool. But I agree with you that, like, specifically Swimming is like my comfort album. Like I just listen to that thing on repeat.
Yeah. And then Faces was just so, like, it was so complex, like, artistically, and he really, like, started speaking his truth, it felt like, Yeah. And, like, I don't know, I would wish to sit down and, not just write one song with him. I'd want to write a lot.
Just a whole album.
A whole album, like, because I'd want, like, not just, like, the swimming in circles feel, like, I'd also want, like, like, I don't know, like, good AM, like that kind of stuff.
That had like a really good, I don't know what word I'm going to describe it with. It's very upbeat. There you go.
Yeah. And then I'd also want, like, my favorite song by him is Wings. And
yeah.
Like, I'd want to make something like that, And
what's so hard so I love that song too. And I've tried to write something similar, but you can't do it, like, intentionally, because I feel like
it'll sound too close.
It'll sound too close, and there won't be a magic about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, whenever I take inspiration from certain things, I kind of I listen to a lot of what that thing sounds like. So right now I have been listening to a lot of Mac, but more of Swimming. Swimming has been a big album on repeat for me. And then also The Weekend After Hours, Lord, her melodrama album.
Yeah.
So trying to pick up all of those sounds, all of those dark synths kind of sound. Mm-hmm. So I've been kind of doing that with music that I've been making personally and just kind of making my own spin just off that sound. So not really one song in general.
Yeah.
Kinda.
So you guys got the sneak peek. This is what her next album's going to sound like.
Kinda. A little bit.
There was a second part to the question, right?
I think y'all kind of touched on that. I was asking about who would be your dream collaboration in the Pittsburgh scene and outside, and you kind of touched on both because I think Mac just kind of encompasses all of that.
Are there any in the Pittsburgh scene right now?
Right now? Well, I am making collaborations with a few people, actually. I just did one with Luna. I would definitely do one with Luna again, for sure.
Okay.
She's really a folksy, a lot of my folk stuff. She was on my album for Window Pane, that song.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, so I like writing with her, and then I just came out with a song with 4-String Fighter, Sanctuary. It was his song, but he had me sing and write one of the verses for it.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's more reggae, but I have that folk sound still, so we've kind of been trying to work together and make some more music like that.
Nice.
I'd say Hollow North, they played at that show that we were at that Halloween show.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to collab with them. I know we've talked about it, but time and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of people I've said I'd do a collab with and just haven't been able to get to it yet. So
yeah, I guess. For us, I think it was easy because we basically just sent it to you and we're like, okay, can you do the vocals? And that was that.
So you talked about previously how you initially met at a show at the Forge. Are there any other venues that would be just your dream venue to play at, not just in Pittsburgh, but anywhere really?
Well, I'd want to be able to I don't know, play at Thunderbird, I feel like.
Yeah.
Would be fun. I've only been there once for somebody else's show, but I've never played there myself. In Pittsburgh, and then out of Pittsburgh, I don't really know the names of many venues outside of Pittsburgh, to be completely honest, but
what's the first one that comes to your mind? For me, it's Radio City Hall in New York or something,
well,
crazy.
That would be, something crazy. I'd say Madison Square Garden would be absolutely insane to play at.
Yeah. This year has been 2024 has been a little rough on Pittsburgh venues, I think.
Yeah.
There's a couple that have closed down this year. I'm really sad about it.
Yeah, I played at the Bridge one of the last shows before it closed. Yeah.
When did that was February-ish.
Yeah.
Right?
Winter time sometime.
Yeah.
They all blur together.
Yeah, it's such a shame.
So theoretically, if you're putting together your own music festival in Pittsburgh, what is your ultimate lineup? Could be anyone from the Pittsburgh music scene or outside of it.
I'd say people I know in Pittsburgh scene. There's a girl, Abby Morgan. I'd say Hollow North, you guys too. And then I would say Stevie Flowers, if you know who that is.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's a vibe. Oh man, I'm blanking now.
Oh no.
There's so many though. There's so many people. I'd say Luna for sure, and then 4-String Fighter, yeah. And then there's what are they called? MSJR. They're a reggae band.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very vibey festival for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd want to just have a good time, you know? Dance around.
Where would you host it?
Probably by the waterfront. I've always liked that area. The Roberto Clemente Bridge where they put that Ferris wheel at.
Oh, so the North Shore then.
Yeah. Yeah, or even the waterfront area. It would be, I don't know, somewhere by the water by a bridge, you know?
Or on the bridge.
I don't know if I could close a whole bridge for a festival though.
That'd be pretty sick though.
That would. That would.
Bridges Music Festival coming to a Pittsburgh city near you.
You could call it like bridging the gap to music or something. I don't know. There's something there. I'll workshop it.
We'll work it out.
It's coming soon. So Nathaniel, who is your lineup going to be for your ultimate Pittsburgh Music Festival?
Lorelai Paige.
Thank you.
Sunny Days and the Weathermen. Those are our boys. Rebel Revolver. Those are also our boys. Oh man. Now I'm pulling at you, and I'm drawing a blank on every artist I've ever met. I would choose Stevie Flowers. Like he's such a good vibe too.
He is. He just came out with a song lately. I can't remember the name of it, but it's very vibey.
To listen, I think maybe another band too would be Chariot Fade. I think you would like them a lot.
Yeah, I actually don't know them, so I'll have to check them out.
Strongly recommend. They're like, did you listen to that Bruno Mars Anderson .Paak like collab?
Yeah.
Silk Sonic. It's like that, but like 10 times better.
Huh.
Yeah, strongly recommend.
All right.
That's my festival lineup.
Where are you going to host it?
Shenley Park. Because I think that's a good central area for everybody.
I think it's pretty underutilized as a music venue.
Yeah.
It has potential. So kind of pivoting into another hypothetical creative question. Unlimited resources, unlimited time. What sort of music or project would you be working on?
The project I'm making right now.
You have unlimited resources?
Well, not unlimited resources, but
pretty limited resources.
It is limited. However, it's coming out the way I want it to.
Hey, that's nice.
It is. Nice. So I've just been recording for a music video, and it's I was worried it was going to look kind of like a home project, and I wanted to make it look as professional as possible. So I've been doing a lot of research and trying to figure out things to piece together, and it's actually turning out really well. And the music I've been making, I thought was going to suck, and it doesn't at all. In fact, it's impressing me.
That's like the DIY musician's dream is
yeah, right?
This is actually good.
That's why all my focus, I've been barely doing shows. I've been barely even making videos for social media. I've just been kind of hiding, it feels like, but I've been just making and so many songs, writing nonstop. And it's I don't know, I feel like I'm really speaking my truth in these songs. So it's coming out really easily to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Next question? Or do you want me to answer that?
I think you should get to answer it.
Oh, unlimited resources. What would I make?
And unlimited time.
Unlimited time. I think I would make an indie rock album. So similar to what we've done, but really polished and high energy. And then also slightly experimental, similar to Blink-182's Untitled album, because that really hits. That to me was, because I was 13 when I first heard it. That to me is the pinnacle of these guys were making really catchy, good music, but then also exploring spaces that hadn't been explored. So that would definitely be my answer, something similar to that. Yeah.
So kind of wrapping up here, are there any upcoming projects in the next 6 months to a year that you want to share?
Yeah, my album will possibly be out next year.
2025.
2025.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for this album?
Yes, but it's a secret.
Okay. I won't pry.
What about you guys?
We also have an album that at the time of recording this does not have a name, but it's number 3 for us. We're super excited about it. We recorded it at Mr. Small Studio with Nate Campisi. Really excited about it. Took a lot of work, but I think it's even better than the last one. So that's all we aim for, honestly.
Just keep getting better.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both for sharing your insightful thoughts with us. Is there anything else you want to share before we wrap it up?
Listen to Beat Up Chevy.
Listen to Beat Up Chevy. There you go. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's a wrap.
I guess that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Thank you all for listening, and go listen to Beat Up Chevy, and also stay mellow.
Stay mellow.
Nice.
Cut. Cut the tape. Cut the tape.